Hello, I'm Ariel, and today I'm going to be arguing the stance that the United States military should stay involved in the Middle East. And so I understand the frustration and the desire to want to disengage military from the Middle East because our intervention in the region for the past few decades seems to have gotten us nowhere for a lot of people. And this frustration is very valid. I actually share the same frustration, but the fact is that United States interests in the region still haven't disappeared, and the negative effects, the risk of the negative effects that will impact the United States if we withdraw are still very high. So I like to think of it in terms of what's happening right now with coronavirus, because everybody's sick of being in quarantine. We're tired of it, tired of being cooped up, and we just want to be done with the virus. But the virus is far from done with us. So the same thing could be said for our involvement in the Middle East. And if we choose to withdraw from the Middle East, there's several different possible negative effects that could stem from that. One is that other countries who have economic and political interests in the region, like Russia, will most likely enter once we leave and cause negative economic effects for the United States. It's important to the United States that we keep any hostile force from dominating the region and taking control because of the huge energy reserves that are there. So a part of that is because we depend on our allies in the region, like Saudi Arabia, to import oil to us or to put our oil through refineries. And we depend on essentially a stable Persian Gulf for the ability to import oil, to put our oil through refineries, and also to trade other U.S. goods. So this is very important to us economically, and if we do pull out and another world power comes in and starts taking over the region, it'll have negative economic consequences for the United States. Another issue if we withdraw is that the United States' credibility and power status in the international community will be damaged, it'll suffer, and this could look weak to our allies, both our allies and our enemies, because it'll show that we can't maintain our foreign commitments or our military commitments, and it's just not a good look for the United States to do that. And another issue with withdrawing would be that we will most likely see a surge in the Islamic State and other terrorist organizations there in the region, possibly governments overthrown, as we saw in Iraq when we left in 2011. With Iraq, the state completely fell apart and required our emergency intervention by the United States. So say we choose to withdraw our military forces from Syria and Afghanistan just as abruptly as we did with Iraq, then we're going to have to end up going back into the region anyways, because it's most likely that terrorist organizations are going to rise and gain prominence, and we'll have to intervene back in the region when it's in a worse condition than when we left. So it is, although it would be nice, it is naive to think that the United States could simply just withdraw from the Middle East without any negative consequences. There's too many issues at hand to consider. There's, like I mentioned, the growing Russian influence, Iran's power ambitions, hegemonic ambitions, and the potential resurgence of key terrorist organizations, and just the massive political instability and violence in the region that we have to consider. All of these issues at play require well thought out and strategic management by the United States, not extremes of deeper engagement and not complete withdrawal. It's in the United States' best interest to maintain our military presence, apply military force and strength strategically, when it's needed, as necessary, and possibly even provide anti-Iran actors in the region with intelligence and military support to sort of create a balance of power there. And hopefully we could move towards negotiating peace deals, but only while making sure that they have reliable and sufficient assurances. And hopefully what this strategy will do is keep the pressure on the terrorist groups and prevent them from executing external attacks, either on the United States or someone else, and establish a balance of power in the region that, will hopefully bring more stability. Thank you for listening. If you have any questions or comments, I'd love to hear them. Thank you.